Okay, this is just going to be an introduction to integer operations, adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about is adding. So for adding, y'all read that with me. It says to add integers, if the same signs, add, and the answer has the sign of the numbers you added. Okay, so let's do an example on your desk. I'll write one up here, you write it there. So let's say we have positive 3 plus positive 2. Write that on your desk. Positive 3 plus positive 2. Okay, so positive 3 plus positive 2, that's really just this, right? 3 plus 2. We don't need all those extra positives. Okay, so what is 3 plus 2? 5. And in this case, we're going to say it's positive 5, okay? So same thing that you've been doing all along, positive 5. Okay, erase that one. Now, let's say that we have two negative numbers. So let's have negative 5 plus negative 2. Write this on your desk. Negative 5 plus negative 2. Now, it says you add them and take the sign of the numbers that you added. So, forget the signs for a second. What is 5 plus 2? 7. And then, since they were both negative, our answer is negative. So, it's negative 7. All right, so to add integers when they have different signs, instead of adding, you do what? You subtract, and then your answer has the sign of the number with the largest absolute value, or the one farthest away from 0. So, let's say we have negative 3, write this on your desk, plus positive 2. I'm going to leave off the positive because that's just an extra thing we don't need. Okay, they're different signs. Everybody sees that? Yeah. Negative and a positive. So that means we subtract. So 3 take away 2 is 1. 3 take away 2 is 1. Okay, but it says we take the sign of the number with the largest absolute value. That would be the number negative 3. So our answer is negative 1. So negative 3 plus positive 2 is negative 1. So if we had this one, because this does seem a little bit harder, but it's the exact same principle. Negative 5 plus positive 10. Okay, so if you have that, remember, we're going to subtract them. Even though the positive 10 is second, we're still going to subtract. 10 take away 5 is 5. And then we take the sign of the number with the bigger absolute value. 10 has the bigger absolute value, so it is positive 5. Answer is positive 5. Now, subtracting integers, this is the hardest one, and this is the one actually on your deck toys today. You can actually skip this part, and I put it so that you could skip it, because this is the hardest one, and I don't normally teach it in 6th grade, but I'm going to give it a try and see, because some of you are going to be able to get it. So to subtract integers, you're going to change the subtraction sign to a what? Addition sign, and you're going to change the sign of the second number. And then you're going to follow the rules for addition. So, let's try it. Let's have negative 3 minus negative 2. Negative 3 minus negative 2. Okay, write this with me, okay? So, it says, we're going to leave the first number alone, negative 3. And then minus, we're going to change it to a plus. And we're going to change the sign of the second one. It's going to become a 2. Positive 2. Do you see it? So, we change this subtraction to addition, and we change the sign of the second number. So now we can follow the rules for addition. Are they the same? No. They're different, right? So we have 3 take away 2, and we get 1, and the answer is negative because negative 3 is bigger than, because 3 is bigger than 2. So our answer is negative 1. All right, let's do another subtracting, and like I said, these are the hardest. So let's do negative 5 minus, let's see, did we do two? We did different signs last time, didn't we? Let's do minus negative 10. No, positive 10. Change that to positive. Sorry about that. Negative 5 minus positive 10. All right, so remember, we're going to keep negative 5 the way it is. Then we're going to change that subtract to an add. And then we're going to change the positive 10 to a negative 10. And then we follow the rules for adding. So since this is negative and negative, they're the same. So we're going to add them together. We'll get negative 15. Okay? It's complicated, especially if you try to do it in your brain. That's where you're going to run into the most trouble. I don't even try to do this in my brain, because if I do, I will think I have the right answer and I'll be wrong half the time. All right, let's go on to multiplying and dividing, because guess what? Those are the easiest. All right, now, to multiply and divide, you follow the exact same rules. So these are very easy. You multiply the numbers as if there was no sign. And then if the signs are the same, in other words, if they agree, if they're both positive or both negative, your answer is always going to be positive. If they are different or disagree, your answer is always going to be negative, period. So let's do it. Negative 3 times negative 2. Negative 3 times negative 2. So first we multiply 3 times 2 and we get 6. Okay? And since they agreed, they are both negative, the answer is positive. If they agree, the answer is positive. Some of you are like, that's not what I thought. Hold that thought. Okay? So how about if they disagree? So negative 4 times positive 5. First we multiply. 4 times 5 is 20. And they disagree. One is negative, one is positive. So our answer is negative. Okay? It's plain and simple. If they agree, then the answer is positive. If they disagree, the answer is negative. And I know that goes against what you're thinking, because some of you are like, but I don't understand. Those two were both negative. But they agreed. They were both negative. Therefore, your answer is negative. Positive. I knew I was going to say it wrong. Okay? But they disagree, therefore your answer is negative. In other words, if we're both in a bad mood at the same time, then we're not going to fight, right? So we're going to be positive. But if you're in a bad mood and I'm in a good mood, then we're going to disagree and we're going to fight. Okay, so think of it that way, and that would be negative.